sorry we're starting a bit late today. We're about 15 minutes late, approximately. We had a siren, had to run to a bomb shelter. Not fun, but it's all up to Hashem. So we gladly accept it. But the problem is there's no recording studio in my mind. So it wasn't set up, so we're running a bit late. So today's show is going to be much shorter than usual. I want to finish at the same time. We are at the bottom of Daf Mem Ches on base brachos. Daf Mem Ches on base. We learned the Louis Nishmas brachos Bas Rabbi Yehuda. It's great to be with all of you. Bruchim Haba and welcome. So we are approximately all the way in the wide lines on Mem Ches on base. Where are we up to exactly? Okay. Says the gemorah. We started asking about Torah. If Birchas Torah is Doraisa. The gemorah says, how do we know the Birchas Torah is Doraisa? It says Kal v'chaymer. That is what he understood. Reb Shmuel, Reb Shmuel Kal v'chaymer achay shov achay oilam haba lo koshkem. So therefore we pass on that Birchas Torah is Doraisa. Says the gemorah, Nachmei Tamid Sheba Bishmal, Einu Mishum Bishmal, Einet Tzarech. You don't need to Kal v'chaymer to learn it. Birchas Torah is Doraisa. We don't need to come on to Kal v'chaymer for this explanation. Harei Yomer, it says Allah Tzateva Hashem Nolach. When we bench, we thank Hashem for Allah Tzateva, for the great land, for the good land that He gave you. I will give to you the Ten Commandments, the luchos seven, the stones of the tablets of stone, Torah and the mitzvah and the commandments of the gemorah. So what do we learn from here? Since Eretz Yisrael is called the Nesina, Hashem, it's a matana, He gave it to us. It says the Lashon Nesina, and by Torah it says the Lashon Nesina. So there's a hekesh of Zereshava, one from the others rather. Here Nesina, there Nesina. Here you have the bracha is Doraisa. Here the bracha is going to be the Doraisa. Yes, says Rav Meir, how do we know that just like you've got to thank Hashem, you've got to make a bracha when something good happens, you have to thank Hashem for when something bad happens. Talmud Leimar, Shanos L'cha Hashem Elikecha. Some understand Elikecha, whenever the Torah uses the Lashon Elikecha, Elikim is Lashon of judgment. Also, the judges in Basin are sometimes called Elikim. Asher Yishin Elohim Yavoy, whatever. So Elikim means, sometimes it means Shem Hashem, and sometimes it means judges. But the word Elikim, the shame of Hashem, when we use the shame Elikim, that's referring to the Midas Adin, where Hashem judges. So Hashem Nosan L'cha you, Hashem L'kecha. Since he uses the word bracha, whenever you have a Nesina, you need a bracha, Nosan Hashem L'kecha. Therefore says Rav Meir, you've got to make a bracha. When you get something good, you've got to make a bracha. When you have something bad, you've got to say bracha. So this is the first time in Shas we see this principle. You have to thank because Baruch Hu when something bad happens. Why? Because nothing's bad. It's all Ratzon Hashem. There's a purpose for everything. We don't understand it. You don't see it. To us, it looks bad. To us, it felt like that was nasty. But it's all for the good. Everything's good. Everything's bracha. It's all in the scene from Hashem. And therefore, you have to thank Hashem for it. Diyancha b'chol bin shadincha b'mid ha'teva b'mid ha'puranis. Whether it's something good or whether it's puranis, difficult challenges. Puranis from what maybe Perea, and still is now. What does Puranis, why does that mean suffering? Perea is when Hashem, Perea is to pay back debt. Whether you pay back for something bad you did, and now you're getting this punishment, but it's good for you, because you need it. You need him to pay back for you. So Puranis maybe from a Perea, to pay back. I like the pshat, I never understood that. Says Ain't it tzarech? You don't need to come onto this. Harei Toiva, HaToiva. It says, HaToiva. Doesn't we eventually say the pasuk says, the verse says, Aretz HaToiva, the good one. You could just say Toiva. So the ha is extra. HaToiva. Toiva zu Torah. So Toiva, when we thank Hashem for Eretz HaToiva means Torah. Torah is called Toiv. I've given you a good Yerusha, a good lekach. I'll give you something good over here. Torah. So HaToiva Einu Tzarech. Sorry. Eretz HaToiva. Sorry. Toiva is a Torah. HaToiva is a Ben Yerushalayim. So the good one, the Toiva is Torah. HaToiva is Yerushalayim. And that's why we thank Hashem. HaToiva says, HaToiva means also Torah and also Torah. Torah and Yerushalayim. Okay, with 3 dots on the bottom, 2 dots. Then Reb Eliezer Omer. Said Reb Eliezer, Kol Shalai Alma Eretz Chemda Toiva Chava Bechas Amazoin. If you bench, you don't say the land is Chemda means desired. That's Chemda, Toiva, good, or Chava, it's wide, the Bechas Aretz. Malchus Beis David B'Bein Yerushalayim Liyos Bechavasei. If in the bracha of Aretz, the land, you don't say it's Eretz Chemda Toiva Chava, you know Yotze. If you don't say Malchus Beis David B'Bein Yerushalayim Liyos Bechavasei. Nacham Zakan Aimer Tzach Shishko about bris. You got to also talk about the bris. We thank a bris Chashach Hasam Dem B'Yisrael. We thank Hashem for bris milah, for circumcision. Rabbi Yisrael, we got to Tzach Shishko about Torah. You got to remember, according to him, you got to remember Torah about the Rosh Hashanah. So it says Rashi, why do you have to remember bris and Torah? Says Rashi, take a look at Rashi, unbelievable Rashi, to remember for the rest of your life. Says Rashi, Tzach Shishko B'Torah bris, B'Ruch Sa'aretz, Sha'alidei bris, Nasa L'Avram, Nasa T'chazecha Esa'aretz B'Gorecha. Why were we given the land of Israel? Why were we blessed with Eretz Yisrael? B'schus the fact that we did bris milah. Because when Hashem gave Avram the mitzvah of bris, then he said to him, now you have the land of Israel. I'll give you and your descendants Eretz Yisrael forever. Eretz Yisrael is ours forever and ever because Avram did the mitzvah of bris milah. He gave him this matana. Why do we see Torah? So take a look in the loving Torah, so we can say this. B'schus us we have Eretz Yisrael. Tzarech Shishko B'Torah, Sh'af B'schus HaTorah, B'mitzvah is Yosher Sa'aretz. Because of the Torah, is like Eretz Yisrael. You hear that? Rabbi say, how we zeichet Eretz Yisrael? B'schus the Torah. That's how we zeichet Eretz Yisrael. T'midei Chacham learning Torah. The guy's learning the Amud. We zeichet the Klal Yisrael Eretz Yisrael because of this. So, just back up one line. What does it mean? Eretz Kol Shalom Eretz Chemda. What do you mean? The Eretz Yisrael is desired. Chemda. People want it. Who wants Eretz Yisrael? Who wanted Eretz Yisrael? What's he talking about? It's Machlekes, Achronim. Who wanted Eretz Yisrael? Chemda, the Avos, who chaymed in Eretz Yisrael. They wanted to be buried in Eretz Yisrael. That's one pshat. Right? The Avos wanted to be buried in Eretz Yisrael. Chemda. They desired Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu also was chaymed Eretz Yisrael. He wanted to come to Eretz Yisrael. He prayed, to come to Eretz Yisrael. You see the whole world, well, Tachlis, you see the whole world wants Eretz Yisrael. There's a little strip of land compared to the rest of the world. Everyone's fighting over Eretz Yisrael for some reason. Who knows why? It's Eretz Chemda. That's the mahus of Eretz Yisrael. It's Chemda. It's desired by nature. Everyone wants Eretz Yisrael. Okay. So, back in the war. Last line of Mem Chesed Beis. Plimu, interesting name. Sounds like a Roman name or something. Omer. You first got to say bris, and then you got to say Torah. Shezunit the b'shleisha brisais, zunais the b'yud gimel brisais. So one has bris has 3 brisais, Torah has 13 brisais. Okay. Rabava Oma Omer Tzarich Sheyema Haidah Tchila. You first got to say to the Seif. You got to say Haidah at the beginning, at the end. But Peiches Leivches Me'echad. We call it Peiches Me'echad Arizu Meguna. You need to be made at the beginning and you go to Haidah at the end. And if you don't do either, so Rashi explains, but what's the Tchila B'Seif? You say Neidlech Hashem Lekeinu. That's how you start benching, the second bracha. You say at the end, so you got to start with a die and you finish with a die, even though it sounds repetitive. You got to do it. Don't do neither. If you don't say neidelecha, not at the beginning and not at the end, it's meguna, it's frowned upon, it ain't good. When you sign off with the bracha, we call a manchila, anyone that signs off that says manchila, or it's Baruch Hashem, manchila or artzes. He gives away the land. You finish off with Mashiach Yisrael, he saves Am Yisrael, but by Yerushalayim Harizu bar. If that's how you finish benching, you call the bar. A bar is like an empty pit. It's worse than ignoramus. So Mufashim saying there's Amma or it doesn't know any Torah. That's a low darga. But then you have a bar, the guy doesn't know a thing. The guy mamish doesn't know anything. A bar is complete zero. So if that's how you answer the bracha, if that's how you sign up for the bracha, Baruch Hashem, Mashiach Yisrael, you're a bar. If you don't say bris, and you don't say you don't mention the fact that David was the king in Beit Yerushalayim. You are not Yaitza. It ain't good. You're not Yaitza, you got to bench again. Says the Gemorah, this would seem to assist what Rabbi Lai said. Rabbi Lai, Rabbi Yaakov Baracha. Says Rabbi Lai, and then Rabbi Yaakov Baracha, Mishum Rabbeinu. And the name of Rabbeinu, who's Rabbeinu? Rashi before Rabbeinu was Rav. Before I said this is still Rav. So you don't say bris, you don't say Torah in the second bracha. You're not Yetzer. If you don't say bris and Torah, you're not Yetzer. So applicable, but this Torah Rabbanon, it's machlokes. Chadal never made it. One says when you say the fourth bracha, Torah Meitiv, you've got to say Baruch Hashem Melech Haolam. Malchus, he's the king, Hashem is the king. You don't have to mention Malchus. Who says what? Malchus. The one that holds you have to say Malchus. He holds the fourth bracha is Darbanon. This is going to be exactly the opposite way you think. The one that holds you don't say Malchus because he holds is biblical. So if it's biblical, you don't say Malchus. Why? Because if it's biblical, it's one of the three, it's connected, so it's a fourth bracha, like the other ones are biblical. This is also the Raisa. So you don't have to say, you don't say Malchus, it's connected to the previous three. It's bracha, samcha, chavarta. It's connected to the other three. You don't have to say a bracha. But if you hold this darabon, it's a whole new bracha, then you're going to say Malchus, it's a separate bracha. Nothing to do with the other brachas. So you got to say Malchus. Exactly the opposite of what you think. You think if it's Deraisa, say Malchus. No. If it's Deraisa, it's connected to the other three. You don't say Malchus. Asks Rashi, so if it's not Deraisa. So if it's Deraisa, you don't say Malchus. Take a look in Rashi, the fourth narrow line. Why do you say Baruch? Why do you say Baruch Hashem? Baruch Hashem. Why do you say Baruch? Why are you saying Baruch? Take a look in Rashi. Says Rashi, Umiyu Pesach Baruch. Why do you say Baruch? The opening of the bracha is the end of the bracha. It's not a bracha where you start with a Baruch and you end with a Baruch. Notice some long brachas, you start with a Baruch and you finish with a Baruch. Here, it's all one long thing. It's like you say, Baruch Hashem, you don't say Baruch Hashem, Melech Haolam, Baruch Hashem, B'dvari. It's one bracha. You say one time Baruch. So here also, it's one Baruch. You only say the besicha is the chasima. The beginning is the end. Shekul haydai, shekul haydai chasima. It's all one haydah. You're thanking Hashem for Atayva. We are having connectivity issues over here. I waited. So according to Rashi, the psicha is the chasima, and it's daimel lebirchas haperes v'mitzvahs, and it's like a bracha of peres, of fruit. It's like you said, amen. It's like you say a bracha on fruit, like saying a bracha on mitzvahs. You say bracha to Hashem, you don't say again bracha to Hashem. The psicha is the chasima. That's what Rashi says, and that's why the fourth bracha haidah, you say baruch, but you don't have to go ahead and say melech hayom because there's no rice according to his opinions. Taisus, take a look at the top Taisus. So Taisus asks, take a look at the top Taisus v'tema. Taisus v'tema. Amay shinoi say yesim shabich sasmuchais. Why would the fourth bracha be different to the first three? In the first three, you didn't start with baruch. You just do baruch at the end, right? You say knowlege. You start without bracha. You say knowlege. You say rachim la. You don't start with the baruch, and you end with the baruch. Baruch Hashem, Beinu Yerushalayim, right? So why with the fourth bracha you start with the baruch? Okay, we're going to have to end over here. Sign went off. Have a wonderful day.